How's it
Hey,
going?
you. How are ya? How's it going?
Good. Happy Wine Wednesday.
Happy Wine Wednesday to you. Happy Wine Wednesday to everyone across the country.
Yeah.
Everyone is tuning in pretty early tonight. Look at that. Boom. It goes going up pretty quick. So, Carl's Wine Club members, Canadian wine lovers, cheers. Happy Wine Wednesday from all of you across the country. I can see people tuning in from all the way from Halifax to Victoria, different time zones. We're glad to have you with us. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great hour chatting wines. We are talking Upper Bench Winery. Upper Bench Winery and Creamery, who make cheese and wines out of the Naramata Bench, British Columbia. We even have a special guest joining us in probably 15-minute time for people who are just tuning in. Yeah, Gavin. Gavin is the owner, winemaker at sorry at Upper Bench. Is going to join us. He's going to tune in with us to chat a little bit about Chardonnay, a little bit about Pinot Noir, because I made a lot of wave this week about the estate grown Pinot Noir from Upper Bench Estate Winery. I give it a 95 points. It is one of my wine of the year. I've been talking about it for now over a week, and Gavin is joining me to talk about that. So I'm pretty thrilled. Let me know where you are tuning from. Let me know where, what is in your glass, what are you drinking, what are you cooking on this Wednesday, and where are you from. So already we have Gail Butler is tuning in tonight. Gail, welcome. Jeanette, our friend Jeanette Pell and Danny Flynn here from BC. So great to see you guys. Gail, usually still in Canada, Ontario, just outside of Ottawa. Oh man, Daryl Hickey. Yes, Daryl from Cambridge, Ontario. Daryl just said he's yeah, well, he bought 5 bottles of that Pinot Noir Reserve, so so he's hope I'm dead on. That's why exactly what I told Mira. We're talking about it this morning because the orders are pouring in from all across the country, and Mira, she saw the amount of Pinot Noir that people are ordering this week. She looked at me and she said, "Carl, you better be right about this one." And you know what my answer was? My answer was like, this one, I am not worried a bit. Sometimes I rate one and sometimes I'm worried. Like, am I in my own head about this wine? I'm not sure if like I really like it, but is it that good? No. This one, I knew it from the first sip. I had that spark. It was like, oh my God, like when you almost get an electrical shock, you get a buzz at some point. But yeah, that's how I feel when I get the first sip. The first time it hit my lip, I knew it was absolutely off the chart. So no, I am not worried about the 18 estate grown Pinot Noir. I just excited that people will start get their wine across the country, because I can't wait to see these tasting notes flooding our social media. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm not worried, but drinking Mira Family Vineyard.
That's awesome. So what do we have in our glass? Daryl's got a Chardonnay from Mira Family Vineyards. Gail's got Sawmill Creek Sauv Blanc. I like it.
I do have.
And somebody from our VIP group here, I can't see their name, is saying nothing in glass yet, but going for the Stolen Barrel from Priest Creek.
Well, yeah.
Priest Creek, right?
Priest Creek Stolen Barrel, absolutely. It was the Merlot. The Merlot Cap Franc, if I'm not mistaken, where they did the 75% Cap Franc and 25% Merlot, where the Merlot comes from, the best Merlot of the whole program. So yes.
Joni's having that. Oh, good, Joni. Awesome. Steven 2016 Altitude. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Mira Boucher in your glass. You got 2 glasses. Let's talk about the first one. We have the Estate Grown Chardonnay 2018 vintage from Upper Bench. I gave 90 points to the Blue Label, so the entry-level Chardonnay from Upper Bench, the 19 vintage. So this means, and I can't wait to talk to Gavin about that. Gavin will explain us how many vineyards they have throughout the Normandy Bench. But yeah, so the difference between the Blue Label and the White Label, the Estate Grown program, it's coming exclusively from the 7-acre property they have where the winery is located on the bench. But I know that either they lease or they own different other parcels of vineyard on the bench. And if it's not from the Estate Grown program, that's mean the fruits are coming exclusively 100% from the bench, but from also the other parcels of land that they lease or own across the bench. But the Estate Grown program, 100% from the estate property where the winery is located, where the winery and the cheesery is located, beside Foreshadow, across the street from it's I have a blank here. A little engine just before Hillside Estates, or where they're located right there. So
nice.
Did you have a chance to have?
Steven's saying he had a wine at their tasting room called the 2018 Yard Wine. Did you try that when you were there earlier this year?
I did have the Yard Wine. Yes, the Yard Wine is their entry-level red blend.
Okay.
If I may, yeah, I call it entry-level. I like the I rather say the value wine. Yeah, very, very solid wines. Solid wine. I wanted to focus more on the iron aspect of iron aspects. Let's be honest here. Are they really expensive for the value that they provide us? Not really sure if we can call it expensive wine, because the most expensive wine in the whole portfolio is $40.
Well, high-end and expensive are different. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say they've got the, like the Banana Republic, the Gap, and Old Navy. And this is, yeah, I don't know if I haven't tried their Yard wine, if it's the Old Navy one. But what we're trying here is their Banana Republic one.
This is the Banana Republic. Yes, this is the top line, the Estate Grown. So my old point here, my old thought process that I had when I built the whole lineup with the Upper Bench, I wanted to do the 6-pack discovery pack, but I wanted to keep 3 of their reserve, the Estate Grown program all together. So we choose the, funny enough, because I have, full disclosure here, that Pinot Noir that we have in pre-release that I just rated 95 points was not supposed to be part of that pack. It was not what I've selected. I have selected the caps off. And because I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Pinot Noir, it's not always what I go after necessarily. And what I propose to Gavin, and here, like, you don't even know that, Mira Boucher. Oh yeah, maybe you were sitting at the table with us, but you were taking pictures of the vineyard. So my first offer to Gavin was to do the reserve 3-pack. I wanted the Cab Sauv, the Merlot, and the Chardonnay, and he agreed with that until he came back from the warehouse and he said, "I brought you a Pinot Noir instead. I don't think I think the Cab Sauv need to sit longer. And I don't think it's ready, but I'm pretty sure you're going to love the Pinot Noir. Tell me what you think." And that's how it turned out. So my first choice was to go with the Cab Sauv.
But you hadn't tasted this one yet, because no one had.
No one had.
Show us the bottle, the other bottle he brought out. Because he's like, this one was just labeled, the Pinot Noir. And then this one, he's like, it hasn't been labeled, but you taste it and tell me what you think.
The 18 altitude. So I had a taste of the altitude in and like before everyone else, the week before, when we took Dimitru out at the tasting room, so they had the 17 there, and they had an unlabeled bottle. I tasted the 17 ounces, and I'm like, yeah, that is so good. What is that? So yeah, it's our Cab Sauv Merlot blend. And Gab and Sarah took me in the back, and she said, "Taste this one." And boom, I tasted the 18. I was like, "Oh my god, this is shit. This is awesome. I really liked it." So anyhow, whoa.
Yeah, I'm getting weird stuff, hey? Gavin's in the house, though.
Gavin's in the house. Hopefully my
news.
volume is better. Okay, now, am I back sounding half normal, not like an alien?
Let's see. Try that again. So I think it might be me. So that's okay. Why don't we bring Gavin on? Because I see him. I see you, Gavin, in the green room.
There you
we'll
go.
bring Gavin on, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what we can do about the sound. Hopefully it works out.
There you go. Bring it on. Bring it on. Let's have fun here.
That's it. Now I can see myself now. How are you guys?
There you go. Here's the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Gavin Miller. How's it going, my man?
My head's growing as you speak here, Carl. It's going well, you.
How's your day, Gavin? Raining outside, a little cold. Did you guys brought all the fruit in yet?
No, we've still got a couple of tons to come in. We brought most of the fruit in. We did a big processing of Cabernet Franc today, and then we've got two tons to come in: a ton of Cabernet Sauvignon and a ton of Petit Verdot, which I'm quite excited about. I haven't done that much Petit Verdot. It's a good little accent for the Merlots and the Bordeaux's.
Okay, now you're getting me excited. Okay, let's put that back in the 5 minutes. We'll talk about that. First and foremost, I want to introduce you properly. I would like all the members who are listening here in all of our channel know exactly who you are. So, Gavin, you're the owner, you're the winemaker at Upper Bench Estate Winery and Creamery. So if you can tell a little bit about our people, where exactly Upper Bench is located, and when did you start the project?
Well, Upper Bench is actually located on the southern end of the Narromada, of the very famous Narromada Bench. We actually bought the wine. It was in receivership in 2011. Spent a year renovating it, getting the vineyards back up to producing great grapes, and then we opened our doors in May 2012.
Sorry, I just tasted my first sip of the estate grown Chardonnay 2018 here, and I'm starting to feel like, whoa, that's good. I love it. I like the bright acidity in there. I just really like the nice caramel note who's coming in the back end. Oh, we'll talk about it a little later.
For sure.
So, 2012, you started Upper Bench. Your background as a winemaker, if I'm not mistaken, you were with Poplar Grove before, also on the bench. So you spend lots of time studying and understanding the Narromada Bench terroir, correct?
Yeah, I've worked on the Narromada Bench. I've worked for Lake Breeze. I've worked for Hillside. I've worked for Poplar Grove, the Red Rooster, and finally, of course, Upper Bench. I spent a bit of time off the bench working for Painted Rock, which is slightly south of Penticton, but really still the same terroir. When we actually got this, I should say, Narromada Bench has its own sub-GI. When we applied for the sub-GI, the wine authority actually wanted us to include the whole of the Skaha, the east bank of the Skaha Lake, in the same appellation. Unfortunately, us Narromatians didn't like that so much. but as it turns out, it's pretty much very similar soil. So ancient lake bed on the lower half of the slopes. And above a sort of glacial till where the glacier pushed through and just brought up gravel and rock to the surface, ground down the mountains, if you like.
So what I want to know from you, Gavin, is as a guy who works for many wineries on the bench, because now for people who are listening to us, we have a good crowd from BC who knows. We all know here in British Columbia what the Ramada bench means for the BC wine industry. But for our people out east who are not necessarily familiar with all of the small sub GI, what the Naramata bench bring to the BC wine industry, in a sense that which kind of typicity and flavor profile and uniqueness the Naramata bench brings compared to the other appellation when we talk sometime about the bench, the Skaha appellation, or the Golden Miles, or the Similkameen Valley. What is really unique and special with the Naramata bench?
Well, the most unique thing about the Naramata bench is the massive body of water Okanagan Lake is, which basically cools us during the summer and warms us during the winter. So it really moderates the climate. The Naramata bench also, being where a big glacier's pushed through, it has vineyards that face in all different directions, but from southwest to northwest. So ironically, on our own vineyard here, I can grow Riesling at the bottom, which is a really cool climate grape, and at the top, as you know, I have Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot growing, and actually now I've even got a small planting of Petit Verdot. So what we have, I don't know if that ever happens anywhere else in the world, where we can ripen those very, very different varieties on the same piece of land. So that's one thing. Then, as I say, the lake gives us all sorts of, apart from incredible beauty, it moderates the climate, giving us more frost-free days. Naramata, or the Naramata bench, is right in the middle, if you like, of the Okanagan Valley. So going down south to Oliver or Soyuz, even OK Falls, there you're going to get, it's hotter, and you get a more jammy, fruity sort of red wine. White wines are a little fuller, maybe, but rounder. Naramata bench is very well known for holding great acidity. So that slightly cooler climate it just holds. So yeah, I love acid in wines.
And you know, Gavin, I think you just nailed it. I think you just brought the point where I wanted to go. It's about the acidity. Absolutely. I think the bench bring that unique acidity. And to me, I think sometimes we are all guilty of trying to compare our wines to somewhere else in the world, because it's always a good comparison. Like, we like to comp our, let's say, our Pinots with Burgundy, our Bordeaux blend with Bordeaux. But I think it's especially true with the bench that when we're talking about the Bordeaux varietal, if we go all the way down south, I don't feel that similarity with Bordeaux. I don't. I'm completely disconnecting from Oliver. Like, the Golden Miles, Merlot are at miles of like opposite of what Bordeaux produced. But if we go on the bench, that's where sometime, and that's why in my tasting notes I noted about the altitude. That's where I start to find, oh, okay, now I'm getting a little bit of reminiscence of Bordeaux, and it has a little bit more that higher acidity, that grippy tannin, like compared to that juicy, fruity, chewy tannin. So I think for me, the bench is that little old world right down the middle of the Okanagan Valley. Would you agree with me?
I would agree. I would agree. The only thing I'd say is I think we're somewhere in the middle of Bordeaux and Tuscany. If you look at the Super Tuscans, I think the Bordeaux, especially from the southern end of the bench where we are quite similar. Just because we're a little bit bigger than Bordeaux. Our wines are a little bit, and we are hotter than Bordeaux. But we have that great acidity that as you say, just pulls through and pulls the wines up a lot. But yeah, I would very much admit that acidity is one of the huge hallmarks of the Naramata bench wines.
So I should switch from Bulgari more than Bordeaux as the old world comp. But I really like that.
Maybe,
absolutely. Yeah. Hey, okay, now let's talk about something like you just mentioned, Petit Verdot. So you have some PV planted on the estate property, or because I didn't know about that?
Well, I do. I planted it. We had an old orchard up right at the top, actually the hottest spot on the vineyard, and we decided three years ago to actually take cuttings and propagate Petit Verdot plants and plant them up there. And it's only going to be 250 plants. I mean, it is only 250 plants, but Petit Verdot's even a 1% addition makes a huge difference to a wine.
I think it makes a huge difference in terms of color, in terms of spice as well. Sometimes you get a burst of spice at the end,
and some great tannins.
Absolutely, that grip coming out. So I love where we're going with that conversation. To me, it's about the land. So your estate, Upper Bench Estate Winery and Creamery, is located on a 7-acre estate property, correct? With the 7-acre?
Actually, we're a 10-acre property, 7 acres planted to vines.
7-acre, okay, perfect. And also, so that's where the estate grown label, 100% of the fruit are coming from. So for the other labels, is it mean that you own other piece of land on the bench, or are you leasing other vineyard on the bench? Because all of your wines are Naramata bench, 100%. I see the sub-GA on the label on all of the bottles. Yep. So meaning 100% of the grapes are from the bench. But if they're not all estate grown, where the other parcels of fruit are coming from?
We have a leased vineyard actually in Naramata Village. Okay. And then we have contract growers who grow for us up and down the bench.
There you go. What is your total production, cases production in, okay, I know it's a tricky question now because production goes up and down. And in the last couple of years, it goes down and down, not up and down, but down and down.
Yeah.
In terms of production, but usually Upper Bench has a 5,000 case production or ballpark, or?
Yeah, 5,000, 5,500 is what I was aiming for this year. And I mean, certainly we've done it in the past, but as you say, the last 3 years have been really low production years. So we've been anywhere between 3,500 to 4,500 cases in the last 3 years, but it's 5.5 is where we want to be, and certainly where we have been in the past, and would love to have enough fruit to do again.
If I ask you, Gavin, if you had a choice, well, which kind of wine, of which of your wine on your portfolio you want to be well known for, or you would say this is what we are very like aiming to be the best at? I know that you like your Merlot on a weeknight. I know you're a Merlot guy, but for you, when you get the wine at the winery, when you get the grapes, and when you plan your year, what is the specific grape or type of wine that you want to showcase on a yearly basis? What do you want to be famous for?
For me, it would be the Bordeaux. So and basically Merlot-driven Bordeaux. Having said that, we are very well known for Riesling and Chardonnay too. Yeah, I don't complain. I love Riesling. I could, my favorite white wine by a long way.
Well, and I think that you guys got well rewarded last year, because for people who didn't know you across the country before last year, I think you won a very, very major award last year. And maybe it was one of the stepping stone as one of the Canadian known wineries from there. So what was this award?
Well, the award was actually the Lieutenant Governor's Award, and it was the Lieutenant Governor's Award for the best wine in the competition. So effectively, best wine in BC. And we won that last October. And
which wine was that?
It was the Riesling, of course. Same competition this year, though. We just got 2 gold medals for both the Chardonnays.
Gold for this one, right?
Gold for that one, and gold for the other one.
And gold for that one. There you go. So another good haul at the Lieutenant Governor Award. How important it is for you guys, for you and Shauna, to submit your wines on a yearly basis, or to win an award like that. It is something like it's collateral. It's what you do. You're happy, but it's not what you're aiming for, or it's something really, really, really important for the business for you.
I mean, it turns out to be important, an award like that, but it's certainly not something we aim for. We're not. We enter competitions we don't enter them all, and we don't put all our wines in. I would rather word of mouth, and that was how I'd like to be found out about, and that's how I feel that awards are a flash in the pan a bit. You know, I'm sure you've judged wines. One day you taste a little different from another. So that Riesling, much as I think it's lovely, it's I say the word crapshoot. They're a bit of a crapshoot. Because people taste different things on different days. Different wines taste better in different temperatures or after different food. So I like the sort of consistent word of mouth. I've been recommended by you. I've had this in a restaurant. That sort of marketing is, or that sort of way of growth is what we prefer. Not that we don't like the competition wins. That one was especially good because we actually sold out a Riesling within 3 days.
Oh yeah, the impact of that wine of the year in BC, it's a huge impact.
It is.
Like, it's not like if there's 10 in the competition. Like if you go to the Platinum Award, there may be 15 of the Platinum.
That's right.
No, one of the year, just one. There's only one. So this one is a massive one. I totally agree.
And
guess what, Gavin? You and me, we have something in common. And it is we work on a daily basis with our life partner.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. She's right here, actually.
Yeah, I know we are. I want you to tell us a little bit about Shauna. Tell us a little bit about her role, because she is having a big part of the business in her hand on the other side of the building, right?
She does. Yeah. Shana actually, as well as being my life partner, is actually our business partner and our cheesemaker. You'll notice when you introduced Upper Bench, it was Upper Bench Winery and Creamery. Well, I'm the winery half. Shana, my dear wife here, is the, and she's got to come in and have us. Here she is. She's the one who makes the cheese.
How's it going?
Good.
There you go. Cheers to you, Shana. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
I want to say congratulations for all of the good things, the 2 gold award that you guys got this year. I've been thinking through the lineup, and I have to say the Pinot Noir, the estate grown Pinot Noir, absolutely take over this week promotion. I'm going crazy about that wine. It is so good. It's going in the running for the wine of the year for Carl's Wine Club. Definitely, it's one of the top 3 wine I tasted this year out of 750 wines that I've tasted so far.
Yeah, I was very proud of the amount of points you gave it, actually. See, points are as good as prizes.
I know. And now that these can travel a little bit all over the place, you can do whatever you want with that score, because that score is on paper now, not going anywhere.
That's
so
right.
It's yours. It's yours. Now, honestly, this wine is a Burgundy Grand Cru, Upper Bench special. It is just so good, so complex, so concentrated. The length and the complexity are absolutely crazy. The acidity level and the spice level at the end, yeah. Sometimes you know it from the first second the wine is in your mouth, and this one has that magic effect when I had it the first time, and it is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Shauna, tell us a little bit more about the cheese program. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing and what you're cooking behind on the other side.
Well, we here at Upper Bench, we make several kinds. I think we've got about 13 different cheeses altogether on our roster. So we generally make bloomy rinds, which is our brie, and we make some wash rinds, which is the gold and the sun, and different flavors of those guys. And we make a few different blues. We make a King Cole, which is our big Stilton, massive Stilton style blue cheese, and a newest one called Moody Cow, and that's a little bit creamy but a little bit firm at the same time. And our Gray Baby, which is a super soft, almost brie consistency, gorgeous. And we also have a really hard one we just came up with last year, and it's called Pepper Puck, and it's a hard grating cheese. So we make under 7,000 kilos a year of cheese. And we love what we do. We have Canada's only wine and cheese club as well. And yeah, we just kind of like to craft a lot of different dream of cheese, and we kind of make it up, and we get to kind of experiment with our wines and what goes with what. And yeah, we're having lots of fun and loving what we do. And we kind of really don't want to be everywhere and in every single store. We're really artisan. There's 2 of us, and we want to keep it quality high. And production will keep it where we can handle it with 2 of us. And we're loving what we do, and I hope everybody's loving the products.
Let me bring my life partner on the screen too. Mira, come on in, Mira. We need to do a big party here. Where are you, Mira? There you go. There she is. Boom.
Mira.
Can we hear? Oh, Mira, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Mute.
You're on mute.
She's probably trying to make supper for the kids.
Yeah, no. Okay. Nah, so it's not gonna. Oh, maybe.
There we go. That's better.
I don't know. I was causing the echo earlier, so I don't want to go back.
Yeah. It's not happening.
That sounds better now. Mind you, you were in Carl's echo, not yours.
Yeah, exactly. That's always my fault. So anyway, when I take the blame, it's all good. No worries. So, I'm sure you may have a question for Shauna, because Shauna, I have to tell you, my wife is an absolute cheese junkie. Yep. She eats cheese more than anyone I know combined all together. So
good.
I do. I eat a lot of cheese. A few weeks ago, we picked up a crazy cheese from Quebec. It was brought in at a local place, and they don't usually have it, but it was like a $70 cheese. It was a ridiculous big cheese.
Yep.
And it was called the Beast in French or something. And Carl's like, my gosh, we're going to have stinky fridge and stinky cheese for a month, right? And I think it was gone in 3 days, Carl?
3.5 days. And I thought we were going to have supply for a month and a half. And no. She took care of business pretty well. Hey, I think we want to know, are you guys making cheese depending on the wine? Or you Gavin, makes the wine depending on the style of cheese that Shauna made? Which way is going?
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. We just work well together. We when we started the business off, I think I made about 5 different wines, and Shayna made 7 different wines, and you made probably 5 different cheeses. And it's just grown from there, and what goes with what, and
we get to play. We get to play. Yeah. Christmas, we have a club shipment every Christmas, so we do a specialty Christmas cheese. So this year we made it today. We're going to finish it off tomorrow. We're taking our King Cole curd, and we're going to mix in with that cacao nib. So the actual nib, the cacao bean, and dried cranberries. So we're pairing it just to have with his Sauvignon, the Cabernet Sauvignon. That's going to be released with Christmas check. Yeah. It's going to be incredible.
So you got amazing. Chocolate all in one thing.
And then we dust the top of it with cocoa powder. So you get the bitterness, you get the sweet of the cranberry and the bitterness of the cacao, and it just goes with the blue, and the pairing of that Cabernet Sauvignon and that, it just poof.
That sounds freaking awesome, Shayna.
I will make sure you have some.
Oh, we will have to, get lots of that. That will be great.
So before we let you go, I want to tell everyone though that Shayna and Gavin own the only cheese and wine club across the country. True. And guys, you make sure that you put some information about the club, your club, in the box when the shipment of the wine is going to go out on Monday. Make sure that you guys put it in. But before you go, please tell our people, how's your club, the cheese club and the wine club work? I would like you guys to tell our people how it works.
It's pretty fantastic. We actually have seven different clubs. So we have a white wine only, a red wine only, mixed, some with cheese, some without. So we're really flexible, and you can kind of you can switch between clubs as well, because it's a lot of cheese and it's a lot of wine. So you can switch things up if you want. And the club, how it works is 4 times a year.
4 times a year we send out. This is the sort of classic club, which was called the
Corks and
Curds Club, which is the one we originally started with. We give you 3 different varieties of wine, 2 bottles of each. So it might be Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, and Chardonnay. You get 2 bottles of each of those, and then Shayna pairs a cheese with each of those. So you get 3 pieces of cheese, 6 bottles of wine, and the wine and cheese are paired. And then we write you a little recipe. And
yeah, you get a recipe. And often, twice already this year, we have done specialty cheeses. So say usually I know when Gab's going to release something a year ahead. So we can kind of go, okay, what do we want to make for this wine? Or let's give something fun. So always at Christmas time, there's always the big estate, the Sauvignon. So we always want to do something special. And it's nice to, if you're a club member, because we seem to really retain our memberships. We have people that have been members of our club since we started in 2014. They're still members. So we have a really lovely retention rate because we're never boring you. We're never giving you stuff we can't sell because we sell out.
Yeah, because we don't have stuff.
You're getting the best of us. We're getting the best wines, the best cheese that we can produce. It's loved and cared for and crafted just specifically for our people.
And that's 4 times a year. But all the rest of the year, if you're a club member, you enjoy a permanent 15% discount on all our wines.
You get free tastings when you arrive at Upper Bench.
Yep.
You get discount on the wines. We do events, and you get specialty cheeses that you don't get anywhere else in the world.
And just sometimes we release library releases to the club as well.
And like when we don't make enough, like if there's not very much rosé, we always sell
just
out
give
a
it to
rosé.
the club.
Club members just buy it all. So we just don't make enough that release to everybody. And the club members they see it. They know by now that if we say something will sell out, they just get it all. And
club members get first access to all our releases.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing, you guys. And when is this cacao nib and Cab Sauv combo?
That's going to be at Christmas.
It's the Christmas shipment. So we go out beginning of December.
Yep.
So you'd have to join by when?
You would have to. We're making them tomorrow. I'm only doing about. We might have room for maybe 20 more customers, and that's it. We're gonna have to cap it because it's just getting a little big, and we want to. So we have room for about 20.
So you probably got a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a week.
I have a feeling that we're gonna sign for a second wine club tonight, but it's just a feeling. Sean, I know there's it's easy, but not easy. But I know there's many winemaking school across the country. There's a lot of winemaker comes from overseas, but where did you get your cheesemaker education? Where is that coming from? Because it's a little bit more unique. Gavin, I don't want to take anything away from you, but this is a little bit more unique here. The cheesemaker, Shauna, where did you get your cheesemaking credential? Where is that coming from?
Just I think I've had my 10,000 hours, and I think if you've done anything long enough, you're there. I started up making cheese in early 2000s at Poplar Grove, just down the road from us. And basically I was given free reign to do what I love doing, which is I love experimenting. I love learning. I love the art of affinage. Affinage is once you've made the cheese, it takes you 2 days to make the cheese, but it takes you a year to get it in front of you, right? Like we just released in September shipment, everybody got a farmer cheese that we had made last October. So we're always thinking ahead. So the craft is much like winemaking. It's enzymes, it's bacteria, it's mold, it's yeast, it's everything into this combination of goodness. So
lots of microbiology around here.
Okay, I have the 2018 gold medal here, Chardonnay Estate Grown. Which cheese do you make? Would you say from your portfolio, Shauna, what is the best, the most perfect cheese for this wine?
I'm gonna go with Upper Bench Gold.
French Gold.
Yeah, it's a washed rind. That cheese, I kind of had the idea in my head of Oca style cheese, and so for me, what I know of the Oca style cheese is that what I made up. That's my version of Oca.
Gavin, with that wine, tell me what exactly. So it's from the 2018 vintage. Which kind of vintage was it? What is the oak program in there, and how did you get to that final product? Tell me, take us a little bit more about the whole thing from the
the actual vintage was a nice one. It was quite warm and a good crop. was actually the last good crop, 2018.
The last one that was easy to make money.
Yeah, that's right. And my oak program is, well, you know what? I was never a huge fan of the over oaked Chardonnays, and but I think it's not oak that I didn't like, and I think it's not oak that a lot of people don't like. I think it's malolactic fermentation. For those of you who don't know, malolactic fermentation is a second ferment that actually changes malic acid, which is like green apple acid, so very tart vegetal acid, into lactic acid, which is obviously butter, milk acid, also the stuff that makes your arm aches when you do too much exercise. I don't do that with that Chardonnay because I love that acidity. Where it's like when, as soon as Carl took that first swig there, it was all, you could see him here. Yeah. And that's what I love. I think white wine should make you salivate. And so our program is with this one, 50% of that wine is fermented and stored in brand new French oak barrels. And the other 50% is fermented in stainless and then goes to more neutral barrels for up to 8 months. Slightly different to the other Chardonnay, which only sits in barrel for 3 months. But this one is better barrels, nicer barrels, and more sort of subtler barrels is probably the way to put it.
I can definitely feel a little bit more like the nuttiness in there, the almond, a little bit more round. More like the caramel. To me, there's a nice caramel flavor on the back end. Some white spice, a little bit of clove maybe as well.
Yeah, as from the French oak.
That's the French oak, right?
French oak, yeah.
But there's a tremendous, beautiful precision. That's what I get on the estate grown, is more precise compared to the blue label. More precision, more tension in there. And you mentioned that acidity, right?
Yeah,
the mouth-watering acidity, just like, makes me want more. It's just absolutely beautiful. This is a great Chardonnay. I give it a 92 points. Very well done. And I think there's at least a 6 to 7, maybe 8 years of aging potential in that. It will be an absolute bomb in the next 3 to 4 years. So well done, guys. Thanks for joining us. I know that you are extremely busy, just finishing up Crush and finishing up the whole harvest this year. Best of luck for the rest of the harvest.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thanks for partnering up with you. We're happy that our members are really happy with the offer this week. So thank you. Best of luck, and we'll chat very soon.
Excellent, good. Carl. Thank you. Thank you. Say goodbye to Mira for us.
Bye-bye.
I will. Thank you.
Good night.
Take care. Bye-bye. There you go. Wow. A little cheesemaker in bonus with our interview tonight. So it was great to have Gavin and Shauna together talking about their program. Mira, how do you feel?
Great. Yeah. I'm self-conscious now because I made it echo earlier out here. So hopefully it'll...
Oh, I knew that there was something. I don't know if you were sick or if there's something happened, but I felt like I was like, oh my God, maybe I...
No, something happened with the sound. I have a few devices around me, so something went weird with the sound. But anyway, we're good now, right?
We're good. Oh yeah, your sound good. What do you think of the Chard?
Great. Like we should find some way to capture, your first reaction when you have a wine. And I think if you were to do like a time lapse or over, lost one feed, but back now. Okay. Hopefully that's just on your internet side there, Ken. Not everyone's hopefully experiencing that. Thank you. But yeah, it'd be so interesting because I'm pretty sure that my facial expression the first time I taste a wine will tell a lot about what I think of the wine. So this was one of those, again, when the first time I sipped it a little earlier at the start of this live. I think if you were zoomed in on my face, you'd see that I really liked it because I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's good. So yeah, definitely one I like. And I'm loving this discussion about how they ship you cheese with the wine. So we'll have to have a chat about that wine club later, Carl.
I knew when they started to talk about it, I was like, oh, I already had that conversation. It's already processed. I already have my answers, and yes.
It's good stuff.
Oh, I really like that chard. There's a salinity in that one that I didn't find
about
in
it. I'm gonna bring up just the info about it, but yeah, you tell us what you think.
Well, minerality definitely brings that little salinity at the end when my lip gets a little salty. To me, it's a good sign. It's a sign of minerality. Like Gavin mentioned, it's about acidity. They preserve the acid by not doing the malolactic fermentation. And this green apple, it's a little citrusy aspect of that Chardonnay. To me, it's my favorite part. I have it, and I get the caramel, the clove, the barrel effect a little bit later on. So I get that. It's a beautiful Chardonnay. 92 points to me. I didn't taste it. I haven't tasted it yet. I was waiting for tonight to rate it live, and yeah, it's to me, I don't want to go overblown with all of that compare the old world, the new world, and where is that takes me. But again, there's a little bit of a Côte de Beaune or a little bit of a Burgundy in that Chardonnay. It's definitely a no. Not a California comp here. There's nothing like California style. There's a beautiful purity of the fruit in there. There's a precision. There's that bench acidity, but that beautiful barrel usage that I got, the spice and the sweet caramel on the backhand, who absolutely lift that up and give me a little bit of Burgundy style. And not south of Burgundy, I would say a little bit like northern part of Burgundy. So yeah, it's a beautiful wine, great wine. And again, when we're talking, I think the price point is like under $40 if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely not mistaken, because there's not a wine over $40 in that pack. But I would say probably $35. So a $35 Chardonnay. It's not something that I call cheap. It's not but it's a great value wine in a sense that it is a premium Chardonnay at the total top of the scale for a medium scale price. So because to me, I have the $20, the $35, and the 45 plus. This is kind of my three generic price category, and this is in the premium quality category at the medium part price point. Is just absolutely wonderful. Love it.
It's really good, and we have to be careful now, Carl, because when we discovered the 2017 19e Chardonnay at Pearl Morissette out in Niagara. Yeah. We discovered that, like 6 months ago now? 7 months? And then we did a flash feature about it. And it's absolutely still a wine that I talk about all the time. I love it. It's a wine that the only wine Carl's ever given 98 points to for a Canadian wine. And it was $48 including tax when we featured it a couple months ago. And it is now $60 including tax. So I kept saying, we got to get like 2 cases of this wine, Carl. And we were like, yeah, we'll do that soon. And now
I know.
A little bit more, but it's still worth it to me. Like there are $100 Chardonnays I've tasted out there that are nowhere near as good as that one. And this is one that actually reminds me of that one a lot. So I love it for almost half the price. So this would be my go-to now.
Oh, guess what? That's what I mean, right? Like when we go to the 98 points at $60, this one at $30 or $35, it's a heck of a value. And I'm just getting a little bit more like the lime meringue pie or something like that. That creamy meringue and that zippy acidity, like the pie, like the lime pit or the lime peel a little bit. So that's that limey part that I really enjoy and that sweeter part of the barrel, that caramel, really match well together, and that bright acidity. So that's the three aspects that I got the most here.
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. And do we have a different wine you're tasting tonight from Upper Bench? Because let's chat at least a little bit about some of these other ones. There are 9 in the offer this week, right?
Hey, yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about the Altitude. The Altitude 2018, like I mentioned, and I love what Gavin said. A little bit more ripe fruit than Bordeaux is. He compared, because I thought, to me, that the Altitude is the most Bordeaux-esque of all of the lineup of Upper Bench, and Gavin agreed with me in a sense that he's like, yeah, it's a little old world, but he's going more in as a super Tuscan, as a style, a little bit more riper fruit, and I agree with that. So yeah, great old world style wine, Merlot Cabernet Sauvignon blend. I think it's 75-25 in the split. What we have, so this is also a very serious wine. This wine, if I may suggest, to tuck it in for 2 years before doing anything. If you want to crack it open now, you guys go ahead, but I will suggest to use your Enovino. Give it a little decant, 1 glass at a time, or make sure you put that wine 2 hours in the decanter. It needs some time. This is a baby, just been put in the bottle. Guys, look. The one I had didn't have a label yet, so need some time. But this wine has a potential to be a 93 points a little later on. I love the long-term potential of that. The spice is going to evolve with time. The tannin are going to round up. So beautiful long-term cellaring potential with the Altitude. I'm going to stay with red. I'm going to finish the red lineup here. So we have 2 Merlots. We have the 18 Upper Bench Merlot and the 17 Estate Grown Merlot. Gavin is a passionate about Merlot. This is his favorite type of grape. I think it's the grape, the best red grape, one of the best red grape grown, if not the best of the bench, with Pinot Noir. So Merlot grows so well in the bench. The Estate Merlot, let's get back to my tasting notes here for a second. I think I gave it I think it's a 91 point for the Estate one, and I really at $40 for the 17, just entering its prime right now. Really, really well done. And the 18 Merlot, the little brother, at $30, it's an incredible value. Sweeter fruit, more expressive. Also, really like a little bit more the baby brother. I would say this. Where is this?
Yeah, so the Estate Merlot you gave 90 points, and then the regular Merlot you gave 92.
So this one blew my mind in the sense that it was really, really approachable. Sweeter fruit, a little bit more modern, easy drinking, but at $30, what this wine gave me, I was absolutely blown away. There's a creaminess also in that 18 Merlot. The 17 Reserve is a little bit more laser focused, a little bit more graphite, a little bit more tense in terms of tannin, not as round, but yeah, a little bit more also long-term potential, absolutely. And also we have the 2 Pinot Noir. So the 2 Pinots, a little bit similar that what you get with the Merlots. We got the 18 regular from the bench here, approachable for this one, a little bit more New World style, sweeter fruit, and don't make me wrong. When I'm talking about sweeter fruit, yeah, I'm not talking about a sweet wine. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just talking about approachability, more riper style of fruit on this one. And when you get to the estate 18 estate reserve, by the way, the estate grown 18 Pinot is not available anywhere, not even on their website yet. Exclusively pre-release Carl's Wine Club, 96 cases produced. Only the wine, this wine, where it is, this wine, this bottle here. Estate grown, you see like that little burgundy stripe in the middle. It says estate grown right here in the middle. Yeah, estate grown. That's the special wine here for me. At the second that I had that wine in my mouth, I lit up. I absolutely lit up, and I knew it was something special going on. I knew it at the second that I tasted that wine. It doesn't happen often. It happened with the Cuvée 19e from Pearl Morissette. It happened with maybe with Talus Red Blend from Courcelette. It may have happened with Ice Cellar Cab Sauv this year, but it did happen. I can count it in one hand. That feeling, that sensation, that, oh, sure. Yeah, sure. How sure I was of the quality and the high score of that wine from the first second that I had that wine in my mouth. So this is a 95-point candidate for the wine of the year, the Upper Bench 2018 Estate Grown. This, I don't see that wine going past number 5 of my wine. A wine that's probably number 3 in the top 3. Absolutely outstanding. And I had a few comments on our social media this week. People who like kind of listened to my suggestion. I read my tasting note and said, this better be good, buddy, because I'm listening to you. Obviously, no one have tasted it. It's pre-release. There's no other tasting notes anywhere. There's no other score anywhere. I was one of the first ones to taste it. I am so sure. And this is Burgundy Grand Cru, as close as I've seen that in a very long time from here in Canada. There's a bunch of great Pinot Noir across the country. We're about to do some stuff with Spearhead. Spearhead just got 3 platinum award at the Lieutenant Governor Award competition a couple weeks ago. 3 platinum. They've never seen that before. Their Pinots are outstanding. This, it's not only outstanding, this is unique. This is something you don't taste often. Even me, when I used to taste Burgundy, like by the case, like I used to taste Burgundies all the time. I rarely came across that density of flavors. I really came across that precise, that tension, that definition of flavors. It is something that I'm telling you, when you take, and the texture, there's a beautiful creamy texture, and that's why with the length, with the texture and the concentration, that's how I make reference to Grand Cru Burgundy, because you don't get that in Premier Cru. You don't get that in Village wine from Burgundy. This is top notch. So there you go. So this is for the red lineup. There's 5, if I count properly. Yeah, 5 reds in the pack. There's also about white. There's 2 Chardonnays, both Chards, 1 gold medal at the Lieutenant Governor Award. There's the Carte Blanche, the value wine that I gave, I think 90 or 91 points because $18 for the Carte Blanche. It's a blend of Chardonnay, Viognier. I think there's also Chardonnay, Viognier, Pinot Blanc. There's Rieslings in there as well. So it's a blend of 5 different grapes. I got 4 out of 5. So maybe Pinot Gris as well. If I remember correctly, Riesling, Pinot Gris, Viognier, Chardonnay, and Pinot Blanc will be
we're missing our tickers this week. There was some kind of miscommunication. They're usually in here.
That's okay. That's okay. I usually
wonderful helper that gets those in there, but they're not right now. But yeah, Carte Blanche I loved, and for $18, I think the tax it's like $20 and some odd cents.
And you know what? That's the type of wine sometimes you get from Ontario at not in terms of quality, I mean, but in terms of the price. But it's very rare to find $18 wine in BC. Extremely rare. And at that quality, it was impressive, right? The Mira was one of your favorite, if I'm not mistaken.
I love this. This was my favorite. So if you're wondering which one was my favorite, I mean, I love them all. And actually now with this Chardonnay, I don't know, this Chardonnay kind of trumps that Carte Blanche. But it depends what it's for. If you look at the price, then that Carte Blanche is my favorite because I like the lower priced options sometimes.
Yeah. So, sorry. And there's the Carte Blanche. There's the two Chards, and also there's the Pinot Blanc. So Pinot Blanc was the first wine I tasted from Upper Bench 6 years ago, if I remember correctly. How many years? I think it was 6 years ago. My first one I tasted was the Pinot Blanc. I was hooked from there because I was really, really impressed, and I wanted to know more. This year, Pinot Blanc, this vintage, the 2020, to my understanding, to my perception, it's the best Pinot Blanc from Upper Bench to date. This Pinot Blanc is my favorite of the Okanagan. This 2020 is an absolute rock star Pinot Blanc. The length is really long. The orchard fruit flavors and a little bit of tropical, but the finish with some spice. This wine got everything. It's so versatile. You can have fish stew, you can have grilled fish, you can have white meat, you can have chicken. This wine is an absolute beauty, and I think at $22, I gave it a 92 points. I love that Pinot Blanc. To me, the best Pinot Blanc to date from Upper Bench. And they always made a great Pinot Blanc. So it's a big statement, but I love that 2020. So yeah, this is our lineup from Upper Bench. It goes until tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So there's I think if you guys are interested, you better go early on the Pinot Noir Estate Grown because we sold so much this week. And with this 96 cases production, I'm not sure if this wine's going to go available to the public before, because after us, it's going to be their wine club members. And after that, I believe that it's going to be out. So it probably won't be available, not even on their website. So
it's a good one. It's a good one. Carl's just told me we have to go pick up some more this week. So
yes. I want to stash a 6-pack in this cellar.
We're starting to stash because I keep telling Carl, at some point in like 10 or 20 years, we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, I wish I had that one and that one and that one to compare to this one and see how it aged and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit of an investment in our future. And now that little investment in the Pearl Morissette 2017s we wanted just went up in price. So we got to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time you said, oh, we need to stash some, I want to see later. It doesn't last more than a couple of weeks. And every time we turn around, either it's you or me, we go, we're opening something special tonight. And it's always that one coming out. So we can't keep any. Like, you know what?
We just need more of it, right? Like I heard someone, I think it was Renee in our VIP group was saying, hey, that just means you need like a good amount that are like ready to drink now. And then you're not as tempted to go into the ones you're trying to store for later, Hey, for God's sake, there's enough wine back there to not have to go back to the one that we don't want to touch now. If we don't want to touch them because they're just too good. And I have a feeling that it's exactly what's going to happen
with that Pinot Noir estate grown, the 18, because yeah, I haven't been that much excited for wine in a very long time. So
that's so awesome. And it's funny that it's the Pinot Noir, because I know that's not like your favorite. It'd be like me getting excited about a Cab Franc, which is not my favorite thing.
That's a very good comp. Very, really good comp. I like that. Mira
Daryl says I'll drink it all by Christmas anyway, so no need to strategize so much. You know, this part we'll drink now, this part we'll drink later. Just don't worry, it'll be gone.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, this is a really, really, really good Chardonnay. I absolutely love the complexity, the purity, and the tension of that wine. So well done, Gavin Miller. Thank you for joining us, Gavin and Shauna. It's great to have you. So it's 6:10 already. I would like to touch base maybe a little bit on Carl's Cellar, where the progress has been made on the quiz and on the launch next week. So next week, there's no offer. There's going to be a progressive launch on the Carl's Cellar. We're going to talk to you about our 10 feature winery in the cellar throughout the week. And yeah, that's what
and help you discover what we would call your wine style. So we're making a quiz right now. We might actually reach out to some of you for a little bit of a sneak peek to get your feedback. But yeah, basically a quiz, because we think there needs to be an easier and more fun way to discover Canadian wine, especially if you can't travel around, or even if you can only do that like once a year, right? So let's do it. A quiz, kind of like, you know, you do Myers-Briggs, but this is a lot more fun. This is like way better than a personality quiz. This is like your wine personality quiz. So we'll launch that, and it'll basically help Carl and I send over personalized recommendations based on what we know about you. So
yeah, that's what we're working on. And also the week after, you guys are going to receive our first wine that we've made. So Carl's Wine Club member red blend. So that's coming out to you on November 1st. So,
and it's the first edition. The second edition will probably be a lot different. First of all, we want input on the label. You'll see the label this year is just like super plain with our logo on it. But maybe in the future, one of our members can artistically design it, or even paint it, or who knows, right? So yeah, but the first edition, and it's pretty delicious. Can't wait.
100 cases available. I heard that it's going to be free shipping for 6 or more. So this is massive. Free shipping across the country for 6 bottles or more. We are planning to give $2 back per bottle to a charity. So it's coming.
We haven't quite finalized that yet, Carl Boucher, but yes, we would love to do that. So we're still figuring out which charity and how that exactly will work, but I think it's a great idea, especially because it's nearing the holidays. We're hoping these will be sold out by the holidays or soon after. So it's a great time to be able to give back. Hey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Mira, do you have anything else?
I do. I want to do this little, draw for the Enovino. So tell us about the Enovino real quick, and then we'll do the draw.
You caught me off guard here.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
sure we have one of those kicking around.
Okay, Enovino. Here, a very special product here. Sorry. So this is my Enovino. This is perfect to decant your wine one glass at a time. Okay. So here how it works. You put that in the bottle. You take the little lid off. And this is a pourer, because with the lip here, it pours the perfect pour. There's not dripping all over the place. With all of the little hole that you see here, it's the strainer. Also, there's no sediment. If your bottle has sediment, there's no sediment that goes into that. And
sediments happen because it's an old wine. they sometimes have sediments, or because it's a natural wine and they haven't filtered it so that the flavors are more intense, right?
Yeah. So, and it was designed to be easy for restaurant to pour wine by the glass. It decants the wine instantly and like immediately. We did tests with other people. It's absolutely crazy how the wine changed when it opens up right away. You don't have to decant your wine if you don't want to decant it. You don't have to open your bottle hours prior to your dinner, because you have your little magic Enovino. So it's $35 with Carl's Wine Club, and it is dishwasher safe. So put that in the dishwasher, and it cleans up. You take it out, and they're ready to rock for the next time. It's absolutely okay. Here we go. Testimonial here. Testimonial.
Yeah, real quick. That's great to hear, Jeanette. Definitely was a difference between the wine we had straight from the bottle and the wine through the Enovino. We were curious, but it was much smoother. I had the same experience. I totally could tell that there's a difference. And instinctively, I went for the one that was Enovino'd. Now, it's not for every single wine. Like Carl's warned before, like if you have a really old wine, taste it first. Because if you Enovino it or decant it, it can actually like over age the wine, and that's not good. So, but most wines, red wines,
80% of your wines are not like on the edge of dying. So this is good. And what it does, basically, it just gets rid of the edges. It just round up. It's make it smoother. It's easy, and it works for whites. It works for red. It just make your wine smoother, one glass at a time. Because keep in mind, if you decant the old bottle, you don't drink it all. If you pour it back in the bottle, it's not going to last another day. If you just pour one glass at a time, you cork it back, your wine will still be good the day after. So Enovino, it's our new toy. It's our new thing that we like to work with on a daily basis, and available at Carl's Wine Club at all time. Aha.
Yes.
So
with free
who's
shipping.
winning? Who's winning?
Let's
Who's
see.
winning this week?
Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in with us. It's been so much fun. And oh, Leslie, this is awesome.
Woo,
Our
Leslie.
neighbor Joni, which is hilarious because she's like right there. Leslie, congrats. This is great. I think Leslie won like some fun stuff a little while back. So this is awesome.
There you go. So Leslie, you won the Enovino. It's going to be shipped to you soon, maybe tomorrow or by the end of the week. And yeah, tomorrow, if you guys are bored out of your mind, you don't know what to do, you want to connect and hear good stories about wine, we are hosting Sherry, Carlo, and Sachs, our business partner and life partners. So Sherry and Sachs are going to be on tomorrow for a Cellar Confidential. We're going to be on at 4 o'clock Pacific or 5 o'clock Pacific, Mira?
5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. We're going to spend an hour with Sachs and Sherry Carlo from Carlo Estate Winery in Prince Edward County, Ontario. There's a fabulous story behind the whole thing. Derek Barnett, the winemaker, Carlo Estate has a beautiful story and history behind them. So it's going to be pretty cool to chat with Sherry and Sachs about their outstanding wine. They are the only one to grow Malbec in Prince Edward County. They're making wine like Sextus, Quintus, and some pretty cool and delicious wine. One of my favorite Pinot in the country as well comes from Prince Edward County at Carlo. Their 18 estate Pinot was fantastic. The great Chardonnay. So anyway, tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, we're going to have an hour Cellar Confidential with Sherry, Carlo, and Sachs.
Very awesome. Cannot wait, you guys.
So, Mira Boucher, are we ready to go?
I think so.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening, guys. Have a good evening, Mike. Look for my order of Upper Bench. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Mike. we'll have to see if we can sneak you out some cheese. I know Daryl's researching the price of shipping cheese with FedEx overnight is not fantastic.
No, it's pretty
figure
crazy.
something out.
So yeah, no. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you to be in tonight. We had a lot of fun. It was great to meet with Gavin and Shauna. Absolutely wonderful. Mira Boucher, once again, you did a great job here.
You too.
Love what we do, and it's so much fun. Jeanette, Yannick, Mike, Daryl, all of our favorite people who are tuning in. We wish you a good rest of your night. Enjoy your wines. Enjoy the stories, and we'll chat with you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.